This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
You're listening to Talking Heads with Naughty and Mary Jane. Only on Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM.
Kane is in the building.
Yeah! Already the show goes on all night. Till the morning we dream so long. Anybody ever wonder when they will see the sun up? Just remember when it comes up, the show goes on.
Talking Heads with Naughty and MJ is brought to you by Burger King, Fine Threads, John's Department Store, KFC, Muffler World, Naughty Johnny's, Percy's Island Games, Prince Masters, and Stormframe.
Treat you like a slave, put chains all on your soul and put whips up on your back. They be lying through their teeth, hope you slip up off your path. I don't switch up, I just laugh, put my kicks up on their desk, unaffected by their threats. Then get busy on
You've got it locked and loaded to the Wednesday, August 26th edition of Talking Heads. Your boy Naughty and your company right up until 6 p.m. MJ will be joining us in the 5 p.m. hour. I do have special guests this hour. And we're definitely going to jump into the conversation with them. I will get to them in short order, but I will tell you that my special guests today are from Eleuthera, and we're talking about that big Jacobs Entertainment project that's going down there in Eleuthera, and the pros and the cons of it, and the positive and the negative of it. And as you know, they had a huge town hall meeting last week in Eleuthera regarding that project. So we're going to get the follow-up today with Pastor Orlando Thompson. And, of course, no stranger to the show, friend of the show, director of Brief, Casuarina McKinney-Lambert. So we'll be Lambert McKinney. However, I always mess up her name, but Casuarina all right with me. So, yeah, we'll definitely talk to them in short order. But before we get into that conversation, you're definitely, well invited to be part of the conversation. If you want to be part of the conversation, here's how.
Here's how you can become a talking head. Brought to you by BTC.
Text lines powered by BTC 422-GR96. That's 422-4796. Phone lines open in New Providence 323-6232, 325-4259, 325-4316. Toll free at any one of the family islands 242-300-5720, 242-300-5720. Stream us live. Take us wherever you want to go. GuardianTalkRadio.com. That was GuardianTalkRadio.com. Cable channel 969, BTC Flow channel 616. That's how you get it on. That's how you get it in. That's how you get it on for fresh news, smart talk all day. Right here, Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. All right, but like I told you, big town hall meeting last week in Eleuthera. We spoke to participants of it last week. All right, Mr. Peter Kuhn was most definitely a great interview. And we also spoke to our good friends from Reno, to Jacobs, and got us all caught up as far as exactly what was going on with that resort down there, that proposed Jacobs Entertainment Resort, the pros and the cons of it, and basically the track record that preceded the developer, and if this was going to actually be good for Eleuthera or not. Well, there was one heck of a town hall meeting. Eleuthera came out, Eleuthera represented, and one member in particular of the community, Pastor Orlando Thompson, came out and was very vocal. And, when I saw his contribution, I was like, you know what? You got to get him on the show. So before we get to our guest, here is Pastor Thompson's contribution at the town hall meeting in Eleuthera last week, speaking up and out and against the potential proposed Jacobs Entertainment, project down there in Eleuthera.
Okay. My name is Orlando Thompson, Pastor Orlando Thompson. One, also chairman of the local town planning board. So all approvals that happen in Central Eleuthera gotta come through our board, whether it's governmental or what. All right? Glad I in that seat at this time, during this situation. Glory be to God. All right. Now, one of the things I think, sir, that you may not have been advised prior to, because I listened to your tone during this entire meeting, and I would say plainly you are burying yourself with your tone.
Sir, when someone talks about previous efforts like
Reno, one of the things, well, it ain't all about Reno. It's just your general tone towards the people of Eleuthera. Yeah, that's kind of tough. Because if you're trying to give us a sales pitch and you come in like that, boy, we could meet you with some serious opposition. All right, okay, all right. Let me just get to what I really wanted to talk about. That's the part. That part is out. Eleuthera is we have a culture that we have had through the years as a people here in Eleuthera. And something like this, with the gaming and all of that, that's going to shift our culture into something that we do not want. I can tell you, I would fight that tooth and nail. All right, that gaming stuff. Rethink this whole project and come back again and present it in a manner that relates to the culture that exists right now. Like the lady said earlier, those folks, they just came to the wrong island. That's who we are. What else is there to do? Nothing. Okay. All right. With that being said, I'm noticing this, and this is a trend because we were here last week with another project that was, kind of selling themselves. And we have two major projects that are either in motion, like the sunset thing that's going on that's just kind of screwed up the best view that I ever had of Governor's Harbor Indoor. There's an interruption in that, and I ain't like that. All right, without that being said, my problem is with all of this development that's going here, because when we think about that project last week, 7 million up to 20 million, and then the local people in Governor's Harbor ain't even got one little plot, little dot where they could build nothing on. I got a problem with that. Governor's Harbor has been encircled by all of these investors and bought up all the land on the east and the west and the north and the south. They are circled. And so they right there in this little cubby hole. Thank God I'm from JC, and we used to have Santana who used to keep the land from all of the grabbers. And you couldn't come very near it. So hopefully we could still have some Santanas to keep that from the people that have the money to buy it all and then leave us there. But my problem is that we're going to have all of these developments all around us, and we have the local people from Governor's Harbor that don't have a plot of land. They're living in the mama house or they're renting or whatever, and there is no room for expansion because the foreigners have bought up all the land around the town. I got a major problem with that. Now, if we're going to come with these major projects like this, there needs to be some concessions that the local people can participate in the growth of Governor's Harbor. And I got a problem if they're going to be doing all of that and my people going to remain right there in that one little corner and can't expand, can't build nothing, can't do nothing, no subdivision for young people to build houses and all of that kind of stuff, other than that little 23-acre little something there that promises to be given. And so if we could just clarify some of that so that we have, and maybe we will consider this project.
Well said, Pastor Thompson, and welcome to the show, and welcome to the show, Casuarina. How are you?
All right. Thank you for having me.
And I know
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right. Well, first and foremost, glad to have you guys here. Let me talk to Pastor Thompson first real quick. First and foremost, Pastor, I always appreciate a member of the clergy who could actually put some humor into their deliveries and into their sermons and into their presentations. So I appreciate that there off the top, all right? You could always invite me to your church on Sunday. I'd be there. I'm sure I'll have a good time. Second of all, I appreciate the impassioned plea that you put out there, and you covered a lot of the bases, because when you look at this resort, the magnitude of this resort, the density of this resort, and then the effects and the strain that it will put on Eleuthera, not just the electricity and the water, but in addition to the Crown Lands, and the fact that casinos have failed miserably in the Family Islands. I hate to say it, but they have. So there's nothing really appealing there, and I'm glad that you spoke to the fact that you didn't want Bahamians, penned into a little corner while this mega resort goes on to the detriment of Eleuthera. And of course, we'll talk with Casuarina from an environmental standpoint, which is very important to me as well. But just basically post the town hall meeting, what I liked about Eleuthera, you guys have gotten in front of this. We look over at our neighbors in Exuma, they're kind of behind the 8-ball. Now, they're putting up a good fight and they're making progress. So we're going to keep an eye on how that plays out. But you guys have the opportunity to get in front of this. So what was the general consensus post the town hall meeting? What did most Eleutherans have to say, after the town hall?
Well, I can tell you this. I never knew so many people were tuned in, not just in the meeting, but that were kind of tuned in on the online platform that they had laid out. And so generally people, it was almost as if what I had to say was reverberating their thoughts and their views, exactly what was happening, or their views on this proposal that was put forward by the Jacobs Entertainment.
And if you look at the proposal, I mean, I'm all for development in the Family Islands, but I think it's safe to say at this stage of the game, we need to look at more like boutique resorts in the Family Islands rather than mega resorts like what are being proposed.
Yes, you are so correct. When you look at, pardon me, when you look at the demographics of Eleuthera, every single island of the Bahamas has an identity. It's already established by the people that live there. And we're not just talking about people that pass through.
Well, I'll be honest with you. Let me just interject this. Eleuthera is very near and dear to me because my grandpa was from North Palmetto Point. As a matter of fact, we might be family because he was a Thompson too, K.M. Thompson.
All right. Gotcha. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, well, and you have a lot of people here in New Providence that are from Eleuthera or have Eleuthera roots that are very interested in this situation. And I mean, like, I talked to some friends the other day. It was like, Naughty, I had my own piece of property up there to retire on, but I don't know what's going on. I mean, they won't give away 175 acres of Crown land. What's going on?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I can tell you what, if it happens, it's going to happen with a great fight. And when I think about this project and the way it was proposed and everything, and one of the things that they gave out was this low hanging fruit where they're going to pump $100 million worth of infrastructure in Eleuthera to support the electrical grid and the water situation there. But listen, Eleuthera is well on its way as it relates to, and we don't have an issue with sustainable development. We know what we need. We know we need the direct foreign investment in Eleuthera, but this one in particular takes us in another direction. It really causes us to redefine who we are if we allow that to come to the island. You understand? There are some things, there are some developments that ought to always be poised or geared towards the cities. And when you talk about the families of islands and how why people come to the island of Eleuthera and why people come there in scores, there is a certain atmosphere that they come looking for. There's a certain way of life that they come, and they anticipate that's coming from the island. And I'm just looking at this from that perspective. If I go over into the spiritual aspect, then definitely it will be a no-no. But when you think about that, the full scope of it, not just as it was presented, but what's lying behind it. I told somebody earlier today, it's almost like this, when you have a snake and if the snake can get his head in a particular hole, and I put it like this, it doesn't matter how huge his body is, he will contort that to fit in that hole. And you will end up with a creature that you never thought that could get in that place. Well, it's the same way when you open the door to something like this magnitude. There are certain evils that come along with it. There are certain things that you used to have that will be no more because you have created now an atmosphere. You've created an investment that caters to a certain level of clientele. the people that traverse or come to Eleuthera, they don't come there for New Providence. They don't come there for Grand Bahama. They don't come there for Miami. They come there for Eleuthera. And Eleuthera offers the pink sand beaches. Eleuthera offers the historic site. Eleuthera offers the ecotourism. Eleuthera offers the fishing industry. Eleuthera offers these things. You understand what I'm saying? And if you go off and you start to venture into the other things, and then you talk about the economic opportunities for people, but you have to go beyond that. Eleuthera is a thriving community. And when I speak that, I'm speaking of the entire island. Eleuthera is 110 miles long and 3 miles wide at the widest point. And there used to be a time when there were just certain areas of Eleuthera that received the economic injection that they needed, and there was only like you would have to look forward to going to places like Harbor Island if you wanted economic. But now, when you look at Eleuthera from north to south, there is so much that is happening, and the increase of activity, of business, of commerce, and even the participation of the locals in the economy at a clip that you have never seen before. And so, why in the world would we want to, because we know what we have and we know what we want, why in the world would we want to go on and allow somebody from out of the country, from another territory, to come to Eleuthera to redefine who we are and to tell us and to shift and to change things from what it is to what they would like to see it? We have a vision for Eleuthera. We don't need you to come with your vision and to take over. And we would send this message even to those that are in Parliament, even from the Prime Minister to our Member of Parliament and to the Cabinet of the Bahamas, that this is not something that we want in Eleuthera. And I think I speak for Eleutherans on the whole. There might be some that would say, well, let them come. But the majority of us are saying this is something that will take us to a place and will take us into a zone that we are not willing to accept, not at this time, not at this juncture.
But thank you for being so candid, Pastor Knott. And I just want to pivot to Casuarina now, because you spoke from a social standpoint, obviously, and a religious standpoint, so on, briefly. But Casuarina, obviously, we have to talk about the environmental standpoint of this situation as well, too. And the magnitude of this is what is going to put, the pressure and strain on not only the electricity grid down there, the water situation down there, but it could be, unfriendly environmentally when they're building it.
Absolutely. And it's a pleasure to be on this show with you, Naughty, and with Pastor Thompson. I think we all must be related. I was certainly born in Governor's Harbor. So this is my
There you go.
hometown
And my
that
wife,
we're
MJ,
talking
her
about.
grandpa was from Governor's Harbor. So, we all related in here today.
We must all be related for sure. But Eleuthera is a really special place. It is a special community. It has its own character, its own social character, its own environmental character, and it's precious. We have been presented with a proposed project that is huge. It is too large for Governor's Harbor. It's too risky to risk our future. And as Pastor Thompson was talking about, the economy that has been driving Eleuthera and that has encouraged Bahamians who may have gone away and come back to the island, who love Eleuthera, who have family on Eleuthera and who want to come home. It's encouraged visitors who come to Eleuthera year after year because we have something really special. And this proposal is seeking to change Eleuthera into something that is just like Reno, Nevada, or just like other
And when I
places.
look at it, Casuarina, the red flag to me, one of the major red flags was a casino proposal. How many casinos have failed in the Family Islands? Not for trying, but they've failed in the Family Islands. They don't work there.
Exactly.
They're New Providence
Bimini's a
centric.
great
They work here.
example. Bimini's a great example of a proposed casino in an out island that has failed on so many levels. It hasn't just failed economically, although this is important. It has been a major failure economically. That's been proven. But it's also changed the society of Bimini, and it's been an absolute disaster environmentally. Bimini is a place that is the nursery habitat for the Great Bahama Bank. And projects like that are a disaster socially, economically, and environmentally. We want to be proactive on Eleuthera and make sure that that does not happen in our
Right, and I think that's the important thing, because when you're looking at 175 acres of crown land up for grabs, and you're looking at 20 to 30 years of concessions waived that Eleutherans and the Bahamians and the Bahamas indirectly won't receive from this project, that's not a win-win anywhere around. And on top of that, I'm quite sure Eleutherans and Bahamians at large would love to get a piece of property in Eleuthera if we could.
Yeah, exactly. From what we've seen from the proposal that was shared at the town meeting, it looks like there is a huge amount of land that is proposed to be part of this project in the Governor's Harbor area, right in central Eleuthera. As far as we can tell, quite a lot of this land that's being proposed for this development is actually government land, crown land, treasury land, different types of government land, which really doesn't make any sense for us on Eleuthera. Some of the land that's being proposed for this project is actually privately owned by other people other than the developer, as far as we can tell. So there's we have a lot of questions. And what inspires me about what happened at the town meeting is that people really came together and said, hang on, our plan for Eleuthera should not be driven solely by the vision of a foreign developer. We on Eleuthera actually need to step up and say, this is what we like about our island. We actually love our island. This is what we like about it. We welcome development. That's the right kind of development. We welcome development that fits the scale and the values and the infrastructure realities of our family island. We don't want development that's going to completely change our island so it's not even recognizable.
Now, what was the take of the developer post town hall? Which both of you guys take on his stance afterwards? I didn't really hear anything too much from him. I was like, okay, Eleuthera put 1 or 2 on him last night, so I guess he's trying to catch himself a little bit. But what's the latest from the developer?
As far as we can tell, based on what was in the newspapers, there is a proposal for a solar farm that the developer is putting forward, which is somewhat strange given that this proposal would be on Crown land, on Bahamian land, and on land that's owned by other people. That's what it appears to be. We know that we have major challenges in electricity on Eleuthera. Everybody knows this. But
every day I get text from Eleuthera residents letting me know when the power went out.
Yep, we have major problems. And I think the demand for electricity is outstretching the capacity for producing electricity at this moment. There are plans underway for new power plants in the Hatchet Bay area. This developer, Jacobs, as far as we can tell, has no experience with solar power. And based on his own statements, the power that he wants to produce would be for his own projects anyway. So we're not sure what's next, but I am certainly inspired by the voices that came out at the town meeting saying, hang on, this does not look like what we want. There's plenty of other places that that these kinds of projects could go, but this is not a fit for Eleuthera, and this is not the direction we want to go.
All right, what we're going to do is get to the first break right now. On the flip side of the break, we'll come back with our special guest, Pastor Orlando Thompson and Miss Casuarina McKinney Lambert from Brief. We're discussing the big Jacobs Entertainment project down there in proposed development in Eleuthera. And, I know there was some concerns pertaining to the developer himself and his previous track record. You mentioned and alluded Reno earlier, Casuarina. Just want to touch on some of that as well as on some of the, 1 or 2, other things on the ground over there in Eleuthera when we come back. So keep it right where you got it. The Wednesday, August 26th edition of Talking Heads continues right after this.
Chains all on your soul and put whips up on your back. They be lying through they teeth. Hope you slip up off your path. I don't switch up, I just laugh. Put my kicks up on they desk, unaffected by they threats. Then get busy on they See, that's how that Chi-Town made me. That's how my daddy raised me. That glittering may not be gold, don't let nobody play me. If you are my homeboy, you never have to pay me. Go and put your hands up and times is how you stand.
Dunk Buffalo Ranch, Dunk Buffalo Ranch. Get messy with it.
Dive in hot with the new KFC Dunk Buffalo Ranch.
Hey, Dunk Buffalo Ranch.
A crispy ranch chicken sandwich with buffalo sauce on the side.
Buffalo on the side, Buffalo on the side.
For just $8.95, get messy with it and dunk it how you want it. KFC, it's finger licking good.
Everybody dunk. Everybody ranch.
We're gonna give you a check every week for a year. Percy's Pension Plan, Island Game, keep you winning. Percy's Pension Plan, dream big, we will help you live it. Percy's Pension Plan, Island Game, we got you. Percy's Pension Plan, from the friends you can trust. If winning is a must, go play the game you know, cause your best chance is with us. The most trustworthy name is Percy's Island Game. So put 20 on your account and ride this easy train at Percy's Island Game.
Every day we're told how to work, worship, love, and live by systems that were never built for our flourishing. But underneath the noise, there's an older wisdom waiting to be rediscovered. Tune in with me, Kahun Anku Sarah, as I invite you to set aside the distractions and spend 90 minutes reconnecting to what's real on Unplugged with Kahun Anku Sarah every Sunday at 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. 90 minutes to remember who you are.
Get your dream home with a mortgage from CIBC Caribbean. Enjoy up to 95% financing and up to 35 years to repay with extra benefits and bonuses. Ready to move into your own home? Visit CIBCCaribbean.com/home ownership to see the documents required for your mortgage application and get the information you need to start your home ownership journey. Unlock your dream home today with CIBC Caribbean. Ambitions made real. Terms and conditions apply.
If you need anything in regards to painting, Bahamian Paint has everything that will satisfy all your painting needs. Sandpaper, rags, paintbrushes, tapes, tarps, spackling paste, putty knives, disposable spray guns, caulking, expandable foam, hydraulic cement, paint thinner, and solvents. And that's not it. The list goes on. Industrial coatings for any industry. Remember, Bahamian Paint has all you can dream of when it comes to your painting needs. Bahamian Paint on Harold Road and Mackey Street. Call today, 326-3425.
You're listening to Talking Heads with Naughty. Only on Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM.
It's time for the buzz. What are you buzzing on? Brought to you by John's Shoes.
We're back at you on the August 26th, Wednesday, August 26th edition of Talking Heads. Joining your company right up until 6 p.m. MJ will be joining us in the 5 p.m. hour. And my special guest, we have from Eleuthera, we have Pastor Orlando Thompson, and from Briefs, Casuarina McKinney Lambert. And this Big Jacobs entertainment proposal in Eleuthera is quite the conversation. We had them on last week. They had the big town hall meeting. Following up on the town hall meeting, Pastor, let me ask you, I know you on the ground. And we alluded to it earlier. There's always a small component of society that will step up and say, well, this is a good idea. Let this slide, man. I probably could make a couple of dollars out of this, man. So let this go by. And there's a minority that causes, the detriment of the majority, meaning, a small group of people make off the deal. The majority of people don't, and the island suffers. Is there any of that going on? Is there any of that sentiment on the ground, or is it a solidified, unified, no, we have an issue with this proposal, we need to get this changed?
Well, I mean, for me, so far, I have heard probably two people that support this proposal. One, a real estate agent, and then there was another businessman that thinks that they have influence with the Bahamian government and the hotel licensing board, that in spite of our resistance, that they feel that Jacob still will get what he wants. But the one thing that they probably discounted is that they don't realize the magnitude and the seriousness of the Elutherans and what we want and what we desire in Eleuthera, that no such thing will happen that easily under our watch, because if you understand how Eleuthera is, and when we stand together and when we unite for any given thing, it's almost like unstoppable because we're united. And I believe this time around, because we are united, we will have the desired result that we want as it relates to this particular proposal that has been put forward to Eleuthera.
Yashirin, you have any comments on that portion? Have you heard anything, because there's always, like I said, there's always a little cluster, always a little pocket. Well, this might be a good idea. We should hear them out. And it ends up horribly.
Well, I think people on Eleuthera want development. I think we welcome development, but development needs to fit the island. So I think people are not wanting to rule out any development, but they are ruling out this development. Given what we have learned so far, both from what's being proposed for Eleuthera and the track record of this developer elsewhere, this is not a good fit for our island. So that's what I've been hearing on the ground. And we do have examples of the kind of development that really makes sense for Eleuthera. The farm, the other side, the rebuilding of the old potlatch. There's examples of development that are aligned with the history and the culture and the environment and the values of Eleuthera, and we welcome more of those. So I'm certainly hearing that. I'm also hearing that that the majority of people think that if this development happens, it would significantly alter Governor's Harbor's character, appearance, and daily feel. And actually, the Organization for Responsible Governance, ORG, which is based in Nassau, came over to Eleuthera a little while ago and did a survey asking people what they valued, what they cared about on Eleuthera, and what some of their concerns might be around this proposed development. 80% believed that the proposed Jacobs Resort, Jacobs Entertainment development would significantly alter Governor's Harbor. And then on the other hand,
and that was the proposed development, that housing development, correct, Yashirin? I just want to be specific on that. Wasn't that the housing development that was going to run from one portion of Eleuthera straight across Governor's Harbor?
Yes. So this is a proposed development that would have several pieces on Eleuthera, run all the way across the island in several places. From what we've seen on the proposal, it would include pieces of land all the way from almost as far as Palmetto Point, and then going as far as the Governor's Harbor Airport. One thing that did come out of the meeting is that when Jacobs asked the room if anybody supported a public-private partnership with him, and he asked for people to raise their hand who supported a partnership with him, there was only one hand in the room of about 250 to 300 people who raised their hand saying they wanted a partnership. So at that moment, Jacobs said, okay, I'm taking this off the table, and taking that off. So we need to hold him to that. That's not what people in Eleuthera want. On the other hand, people on Eleuthera do care about the environment. As Pastor Thompson said earlier, our environment, our fishing, our ecotourism is incredibly important to Eleuthera. And the org survey reflected that, where over 92% of the people surveyed said that a healthy environment is very or extremely important to Eleuthera's economy and their personal livelihoods.
Now, what was the last part you said, Yashirin? You broke up a little bit, so I didn't quite hear the last part you said.
Over 90% of Eleutherans who were surveyed in the last couple of months said that a healthy environment is very or extremely important to Eleuthera's economy and their own livelihoods.
Well, listen,
so we're dealing with a situation where people on Eleuthera care about the environment, And this proposed developer is coming in, planning massive land clearing, massive land excavation, rerouting the roads around Governor's Harbor, building a mega yacht marina
Yeah,
in quite a shallow
it was.
location. And there's been discussion about a golf course. There's been a discussion about massively impactful development in a very sensitive community.
Listen, I look at Eleuthera, and when I think of Eleuthera, I think of flip-flops, your beach shorts, your cooler brewskis, your beach chair, and you sit down, rewind, repeat, cut the cell phone off, just let the rays come in, just enjoy, take it in, because there's so much beauty down there. And we cannot lose that. I know there's certain parts of the country that have been developed, and that's fine, but we have to keep some parts of the country as they are. And I think Eleuthera is one that definitely needs to remain as is, and especially for Bahamians long term. And one thing that I did notice, Pastor Thompson, and a lot of folks were vocal in the town hall meeting. I watched it on live. I had my popcorn. I was watching. I'm not no shamed in my game. I enjoyed it. I think they kind of held the developer in check to the point where, Eleutherans are proud and they're not going to be run over and trampled. And you kind of checked him on his attitude, and I was kind of glad of that because I heard a comment that he made that he was going to still allow beach access. What are you talking about? Shouldn't we have beach access any which way? I don't know which one of your ex-wives told you to say that line, but that wasn't a smart one. But
Pastor, you want to take that one?
No, I'm just saying it's important though because I have a lot of people here in New Providence, but obviously, outside of Eleuthera that like to go to Eleuthera. Like Eleuthera is a spot to go and get away and enjoy it and take it in for exactly what it is. So you have Bahamians far and wide that are interested in it and that are very passionate about this. Maybe some weekend warriors that only come down there a couple of times a year, others that go on a regular, others that are there every week when they're fishing and doing their thing. So it is important to Bahamians far and wide.
Yeah.
Yeah, and beach access is something that we have to hold safe. We have to protect our own beach access. I don't want to hear any foreign developer coming in saying they're going to give us beach access.
Man, we got beach access.
We have our beach access. We need to protect our beach access points.
Thank you.
For sure. And there are certainly numerous places around the country where beach access points are being lost, where coastal roads are being taken or attempted to be taken away from the Bahamian people. But for a developer to come in and say that they're going to give us beach access, that was certainly didn't go down well in the room. And that's something that is the birthright of all Bahamians.
All right, we got a couple of callers on the line. Let's grab them real quick. Talking Heads.
Yeah, good afternoon, Naughty. Good afternoon to your guests and everybody.
GNN, what's going on? How you feeling, man?
I am wonderful. Thankful for life.
God be the glory. Good stuff.
People, I'm going to do all of these guests. I totally concentrate 10%. I'm with them. Remember,
hey GNN, you digitizing a little bit. I had to turn your radio down a little bit, but you breaking up.
Oh, okay. I call you back.
No, you're good right there. Go ahead now. You're good right there. Go ahead now. You're good right there.
Yeah, I lay in the kitchen and the radio in the room. See?
You can talk now. You sound all right now. Go ahead. Finish your point.
Okay, yeah. I am sorry for this crew. But they could put up their resistance, but the government could go ahead with that project, just like every other project that they went ahead that we objected to. So I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. I'll hang up and listen to your response.
All right, GNN. Let's get to the other calls. Talking Heads. Talking Heads. We can hear you, caller. Go ahead. Talking Heads. All right. Whenever they finish pocket dialing, they can call us back. But see, that's some of the sentiment the Bahamians have because they've lost faith in this administration. That this is going to get pushed forward for one reason or another. Now, Have you heard any sentiment or talks about that? Because you know there's always rumblings about that on the ground. Or is it Luther, got their 10 toes down and this the hill they're going to die on?
Well, I haven't had an opportunity to speak to our member of parliament on this matter because I know he probably was on his vacation this month and he's probably due back in now because I know he has a back-to-school event that's coming up. But in no uncertain terms, we will let him know what consensus is as it relates to the people of Eleuthera and our thoughts as it relates to this Jacobs Entertainment project. That it's not something that it goes with who we are, our identity. And so he will have to take that to Parliament. If we have to go straight to the Prime Minister's office, we will take it there. But we will allow them to know, and we will allow them to know strongly that this is not something that will go down easy with us.
All right, let's get back to the phone lines. Talking Heads.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon, Nordy. Good afternoon to your guest.
Good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon.
So what you got for me today, bro? Yeah, go ahead. We can hear you. Go ahead. What you got for us?
Yes. When we look at the Albany project and remember the Four Seasons in its own, when we look at those mega projects, I don't believe the Lutherans can be able to stop this one because they've had a history of we have government that stinks. And so they find ways to get those lands from the Bahamians and do what they have to do for the foreign investors. So I don't think they're going to be able to stop this one unless they have a strong support among themselves and some good money. Thank you.
All right, Quetta, thanks for your points. All right, there you have it, Casuarina and Pastor Thompson. Now, I mean, it may be Nasubians, it might be city slickers looking, little jaded spectacles, but again, no confidence in this administration in the fact that Bahamians are going to be listened to or our needs adhered to, that this is going to be another steamroll, go right ahead with this project, we want to make this happen. How committed is Eleuthera to stopping this? I mean, because obviously, that is something that we do have to look at, prior administrations, their track records precede them, results have come. How prepared is Eleuthera to fight on this one?
Well, I have to say I have hope. Certainly talking to people and coming out of that town meeting, I had to join remotely, but I was very engaged and I talked to a lot of people before and after, and I'm seeing Bahamians finding their voices. I'm seeing people asking serious questions about what price we're willing to pay, what we're willing to give up for the promise of a development that really, as far as we can tell, doesn't have the capacity to be implemented. Based on what's happened elsewhere, this seems like a pie-in-the-sky project. And I'm hearing Bahamians say, hang on, this doesn't make sense. How are you talking about doing these projects, doing all of this construction on our own crown land? How are you talking about doing a project that is completely transforming the nature of one of the oldest settlements in the Bahamas? So I have hope that this is not going to go forward. I have hope that Bahamians, to be honest, across the country are saying enough is enough. We want to have a role in the development of our own islands. And I see that happening.
All right, let me get a couple of these texts and then I got a couple of more calls to get in before we get out of here. Good afternoon, Naughty and your guest, my favorite host, MJ. Can't wait to hear you in the 5 p.m. You have in your company two of my friends. Pastor Thompson is my homeboy and Casuarina is my good friend. And that's Hardy Johnson, man. Big up to Hardy, man, the tennis pro. The Bahamian Arthur Ashe. Big up to Hardy, man. Always keeping me posted. As soon as the lights go out, Hardy hit me, Naughty. They're going out again. Good afternoon, Naughty and your guests. I believe from this point forward, no developer anywhere in the Bahamas should be allowed to build on the beach. They should be across the street from the beach. I recall traveling to Barbados and was shocked. Regular people had houses on the beach and hotels were across the street. Wide beach access. It's like our neighbors to the west with less resources than us get all the infrastructure decisions correct. We have to stop bowing and stand for something. Naughty, just remind you, guess everybody said, David, I don't give you much of a chance against that Goliath fella, but we know how that turned out. Naughty, good afternoon. The government needs money. You know, they could push this through just because they need money. They're already behind on the surplus they projected. All right, let's get to the calls real quick. Talking Heads.
Hey, Naughty, what you say?
Hey, good afternoon, bro. What's going on?
Man, look at you. You's my favorite. I want to encourage a pastor and that young lady. You see, this is one of the reasons I hear those two callers. That means they don't have faith in the Bahamas. They don't have faith in Bahamian people. And they don't have faith in fighting for what is their own. Now, that discouraged me to hear them two callers. I want to say right now, Naughty, I don't know if you remember me. I talked about the Life of Key, how it's so developed. That's me, Duff Rock. Okay?
Right.
Yeah, let me tell you something. Naughty, I'd rather have diamonds and I sleep on it without a development. Developers always want to come here, dig up the land, and when it don't work, guess who leave for the cleanup? Us.
Correct.
So I want to encourage those, the pastor and the young lady. Look here, Nassau support you. And look here, I always believe in Foxton Prison could only hold 1,500 people. Okay? We got more people. If we got to stand in front of the tractor, if we got to stand in front of the bulldozer, this is our country. And trust me, if I was in a town meeting, they hear the developer say, correct me if I'm right, young lady, he can give us access. That bridge should be ready to let you know his head ain't no good. He have no love for this country, but develop and make money. Listen, I'd rather have a bear island with flip-flop, with my couple of bears, with my umbrella, and nothing developed. That's how the Bahamas be. God bless y'all, and Nassau fighting with y'all.
Let's get to the other calls. Talking Heads. Talking Heads.
A pleasant good afternoon. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm trying to ask just a question. Why is it that when foreign investors come into our country, that we have to give away so much just to have foreign investors? And when Bahamians want to purchase a piece of land, we don't get any incentive, but foreigners can come in, they can get all of the crown land, they can get all of these incentives, but yet still we are left with nothing, and we have to purchase land. Why is it so? Are our lawmakers listening to us?
Why is it so? Is because we continue to elect, government officials and ministers and members of parliament that fail us when it comes to stuff like that.
I wholeheartedly agree with you because I go to Eleuthera every year, and not because I was not born in Eleuthera. I don't appreciate it and understand it, but we should not just be, because of the almighty dollar, be giving away everything. Our parents lived off just prayer and faith, and we're living off believing, okay, the foreign investors are going to give us 2,000 jobs, and our parents live off just corn and grain, and we believe in just a dream or hope. Something got to be, you all usually say we account, something really got to be wrong with us. Really has to be wrong with us.
Yeah, we conkish sometimes, Cole. I ain't gonna lie, we get a little kind of conkish.
But thank you kindly. I'll continue
Good points.
to listen.
Appreciate your call. Well, listen, I get the sign from Mr. Producer, but Pastor Thompson and Catherine, I really appreciate you guys being here with me today. I think we covered some good ground. I think you brought everybody up to snuff. Where do we go from here? What is the next step? Is there another town hall meeting, or what's the next step to be made in this process?
Well, I think we want people to keep asking questions, keep the pressure on. There are some places where people can go to get more information.
Exactly. I was going to ask you, where can they get more information or sign any petitions if there are any?
Yeah, so there's a couple circulating, and we encourage you to go to all of them and sign all of them. There's a lot of different voices out there sharing different perspectives of why this Jacobs Entertainment proposal is such a bad idea for Eleuthera. You can certainly go to ourgovernorsharbor.org. It's a website. There's a petition you can sign there. There's more information there. There's the developer's proposal is on that website, so you can read through that and see what's being proposed. And then there's also a website called protecteleuthera.com. that has more information, particularly about the proposed casino. And we didn't have a lot of chance to talk about that. But the concept of bringing a casino to Eleuthera is something that a lot of people feel very strongly about in terms of changing the community and the society and what makes Eleuthera so special. So go to governorsharbor.org, go to protecteleuthera.com, and keep asking questions and keep the pressure on. And thank you so much to everybody who's caring about this and who cares about Eleuthera and all the other islands that are also asking and demanding a voice when it comes to the direction of our country and what our country is going to look like, not just for ourselves, but also for our children and our children's children.
But I appreciate you guys so much for being here today. We'll definitely do it again and get us up to snuff and keep Eleuthera on the front pages. I don't want this to get to the back pages. This needs to stay on the front pages until we get this done right, and it's a benefit to everyone involved, especially Eleutherans and especially Bahamians. And if it's going to be a bad play and a bad investment for the Bahamas, then we have to look at it for that too and fight hard against it. But I definitely appreciate you guys being here. We'll definitely do it again. We got to get to the news right now. But once again, thank you guys so much for stopping by. And like I said, keep fighting Eleuthera, stay strong, and you have a platform here. You know, whenever you need to get your information out, Talking Heads is a platform for you. All right?
For sure. Thank you, Naughty.
Guys, no problem, man. You guys take care. Quick commercial break. Flip side of the break. The news is coming up. MJ will be joining us in the 5 o'clock hour. Keep it right where you got it.
Detroit, say hip-hop only destroy. Tell them look at me, boy. I hope your son don't have a and never be a D-boy. Already the show goes on all night till the morning. We dream so long. Anybody ever wonder when they will see the sun? Just remember when you come up. The show goes on all right. Already the show goes on. You try to rest, but roll with the best. For all your printing needs, there ain't no one better, no. For posters and binders, magazines and flyers, for window decals, greeting cards and newsletters. No job too big and there's no job too small. You name it, we can print it, just give us a call. Let Print Masters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Craving crispy? Meet the BK Bacon Ranch Crispy Chicken. A golden crunchy chicken filet topped with smoky bacon, creamy ranch, and all the flavor you're hungry for. It's crispy, it's savory, it's ranch-loaded deliciousness in every bite. Don't settle for an ordinary chicken sandwich. Head to Burger King and grab a BK Bacon Ranch Crispy Chicken Combo with onion rings and a drink. Make lunch loud. More food, less money. Only at Burger King Nassau.
Girl, Junior just showed me Bella Boy on his phone.
What you mean? He take picture of that good-for-nothing boy?
Shh, you don't want Bella here. You say that. You know she always say that's my good child.
So what he doing in Junior phone?
Oh, he there because the police looking for him. He on their wanted list.
Wanted persons in your phone now?
Yes, child. And when police want to find anybody quick, after something happen, they can send pictures direct to your phone. Go to Google Play or App Store and search for Crack Crime Bahamas, then pick install and we'll go straight to your phone.
There is also a section on missing persons?
Yes, girl. Everybody needs to get this app so police can tell us right away when these people go missing. Just like an alert system.
Yes, it has numbers for Crime Stoppers Bahamas so you can call and nobody knows it's you. Call directly to Miami and give the information without giving your name or anything about you. I tried the other day and when I hear Junior and his boys talking about where they hide those guns, I walk quick round the corner and call that number.
Call 328-8477 from Nassau or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands.
Always on the go? Missed the show? You can now listen to Guardian Radio talk shows anytime, anywhere on Spotify and YouTube by searching Guardian Radio 96.9 FM or by entering the name of your favorite show. You can also listen by logging on to GuardianTalkRadio.com and clicking on the podcast tab. Guardian Radio, continuing to provide you with fresh news and smart talk anywhere, anytime, all day.
Loss of family members is very isolating, and people who have experienced loss appreciate when others have shared their grief. If you can't be there in person, go to the Nassau Guardian's website online at thenassauguardian.com and visit our obituary link. The Nassau Guardian's interactive obituary link allows you to read the funeral announcement, express condolences, or place photos on the online guest book for 1 full year. Losing a loved one is painful, but that pain isn't the worst thing to happen. Friends, loved ones, colleagues, and neighbors who ignore the loss compound the pain. Should the bereaved family wish to place the obituary and photos on our obituary site, just contact the Guardian's Funeral Industry Partners or the Nassau Guardian. Remember, there isn't one magic right thing to say to someone experiencing loss that will make the loss less painful or easier to bear. The Nassau Guardian's obituary link, available online at thenassauguardian.com.
You're listening to Talking Heads with Naughty and Mary Jane. Only on Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM.
Kane is in the building.
Already the show goes on all night till the morning. We dream so long. Anybody ever wonder when they will see the sun? Just remember when you come up, the show goes on.
Talking Heads with Naughty and MJ is brought to you by Burger King, Fine Threads, John's Department Store, KFC, Muffler World, Naughty Johnny's, Christie's Island Games, Prince Masters, and Stormfree.
Ever had the feeling that you was being had? Don't that shit that make you mad? They treat you like a slave, put chains all on your soul and put whips up on your back. They be lying through their teeth, hope you slip up off your path. I don't
So back at you on the Wednesday, August 26th edition of Talking Heads, Naughty and MJ and your company right up until 6 p.m. We're into the 5 o'clock hour. 5:10 p.m. is the time. MJ, wherefore art thou, MJ?
Hola, I'm here.
Buenas tardes, mi amor. ¿Cómo tú estás?
Yes, I'm very good. Thank you.
What's happening?
Well, you tell me.
Eleuthero's very fired up.
What's
They're
happening in
impassioned.
Eleuthera? I did not catch it. I'm so
we just
sorry.
did the-
I will
just did-
listen on the replay, but what's the
Did the
latest out of
follow-up with,
Eleuthera?
with Pastor Thompson and Katerina McKinney-Lambert
Okay.
from Grief.
Awesome.
And Lutherans got their 10 toes down in the sand, and they're ready to fight that resort. I don't think they have a problem with it being done in like a boutique style, more scaled down. But these mega, dense resorts are not, not compatible for Family Island,
Yeah, I do
existence.
find that that's what we often get
In
from a
addition
lot
to
of,
that,
the communities in the Family Islands, that they want the developments, but they want them to be, suited for the island and not just what someone
I
comes
think they
up
want
with.
them to be incorporated into island life, what is there already, what is acceptable and what is known and what is loved. They don't want it to be changed. They don't
I
want it to
know.
be part of their identity in order to have a resort. And I think, some of these foreign developers have to realize that. But they seem to be well united across many fronts. And they're going to continue to fight and they're going to continue to keep an eye on it and make sure the developer does what he has to do. Do it correctly from the break. And they're in a little advantageous position because they're ahead of the 8 ball. Unlike Exuma, who was behind the 8 ball, had a lot of concessions given away and they've had to fight in court. And they're in court today, as a matter of fact, so they're sub judice. I'm not going to really elaborate on it. But Eleuthera has a chance to get in front of this and set a precedent for other islands. So yes, we welcome developments, but they have to be done correctly and the community is going to be involved and we're going to have a say in how they're developed.
Yeah, I think the community voice is so important. So it's good to see Eleutherans, man to masthead, and just, making
Yep.
sure that what happens there, that the community is involved and that their voices are upfront and loud.
Well, your grandpa was from Governor's Harbor. My
That's
grandpa was
right.
from Meadow Point. You know how Lutherans go. I'm out big and we will use them.
Very stubborn.
We ain't afraid
I like
to
that.
use our mouth.
I like that about Lutherans. They're very once they set their mind to something, it's it. That's that. Next.
Yeah, but I mean, we do have still lots to talk about, MJ. Let me get back at some of these texts that came through from the previous hour, because I'd be remiss if I didn't read them, and then we can get caught up on some other things as well, too. But, Naughty, the government needs money. They can push this development through. They're already behind on the surplus they projected, which is nowhere near to be seen. I want to encourage the Bahamians to hold fast. Nassau is gone. Bimini, Exuma, and some other islands are gone also. Please, we need to stand firm and hold our land, our beaches, and our water for Bahamians and generations of Bahamians to come. Why developers get so much and Bahamians don't? The developed got high got money and high-ranking politician number one is trading the assets and resources of the Bahamas. MJ, any word on who high-ranking politician number one is? I didn't want them to go to the back pages.
We still don't know. I guess we have to wait for the trial to figure out, what's what and who's who, if the information becomes available then.
Good afternoon, Naughty and your guest. Ask Casuarina how long we've been trying to get Crown Land to build tennis courts and nothing yet. Good afternoon, Naughty and MJ. Did you hear Pintard on Z Live today? Who knew he was a master planner? It was so refreshing to see a leader thinking strategically as opposed to hanging out scraps that we're supposed to be happy about. What could have been? Sigh. We stuck with the buck while sweating with Beth.
Not only did I hear it, I saw,
I like it.
I saw it on, yeah. I saw it. It was streaming on, but I was looking at Facebook. I saw the stream, so I did check it out, and it was a great interview. That's a really cool studio they have there in Marco City. Props to them for that. You know what I mean? Amazing. It's a part of their community center, and I think it's pretty good.
He's really put into his community, man.
I was like, he really, he rolls up his sleeves and he gets things done. That was quite nice to see. And I thought the interview was really, really well. Of course, Zhivago does great interviews, so I thought it was really well done.
Yeah, it was. I caught pieces of it. I'm gonna listen to it on the replay for sure today.
Yeah, good stuff.
All right, let me get back to the text lines real quick, because a lot of these still coming in. This is the first administration in decades that had a leeway-free or any crisis or catastrophic incident. They collected the most revenue in history and made withdrawals from the National Development Fund, our sovereign wealth fund. There was no reason to increase the national debt by over $1 billion, and many government debts still remain unpaid.
Yeah, the debt stuff. Because go ahead.
You made an interesting point earlier. And if you don't want to touch on it now, because we're going to touch on it on Friday, but I still can't get this out of my head. And it's like them sports stats that come to me throughout the day, and I'm just saying, wow, that's an amazing stat. Like, that's just amazing. And I remember you doing your research. You said that, in the first 25 years?
I was still looking at it. The Guardian has a very interesting article today that talks about the national debt. I mean, is this real? So first of all, the headline is, government adds $700 million in debt. If that doesn't make you shake straight away, I mean, and then when you go into the article itself, which is and I like this article. It was very contextual. And it gave us some information right at hand that we would need to really analyze, what exactly is happening here. But a part of it, I'll read it. It says that the fourth quarter 2025-2026 public debt statistical bulletin said the central government's debt increased by $696.9 million to $12 billion.46, which is a 5.9% increase over the previous fiscal year. And I was like, what? Because these numbers are huge. That is a lot.
Can I quote Kanye real quick? Houseway. How?
With the stroke of a pen, what do you mean how? Oh my goodness. All right. So here's the kicker. Here is the kicker. And like I said, you guys should definitely grab a copy of the Nassau Guardian. Check out this article because it's important. It says, the Ministry of Finance's recently released public debt statistical bulletin shows the national debt at $14 billion, let me be precise, $14.6 billion at the end of June 2026. An approximately $2 billion increase in 3 months, and a $4 billion increase since the PLP took office in 2021. Oh gosh!
And that's billion, you say, right? Billion, billion, right?
With a B, it's billion with a B. So here's the context that I love was included in this, so we can really understand it. So think back to the history of the country. The history of the country. The central bank data shows that the national debt increased by $1 billion between 1973 and 1991. Think about it now. The history of the country, our debt, $1 billion to 1991. Between 92 and 2001, it increased by $686 million. Between 2002 and 2006, it increased by 663.1 million. Between 2007 to 2011, it increased by 1.29 billion. Between 2012 and 2016, it increased by 2 billion. And then between 2017 and 2020, it increased by 1.97 billion. All right? And so that takes us to around 10 billion. So the history of the entire country, 2021 takes us to 10 billion. And in the last few years, we have added 4 billion with a B to our national debt. That is, I mean, I don't think I could use I can't use that word on the radio, but is your mind not, are you not just amazed and shocked? We're not talking about a period of, hurricanes as we've had in the past. We're not talking about the pandemic, which we saw a lot of money go out of national insurance, and a lot of borrowing just to keep Bahamians alive and to keep people fed because, the country was locked down. Even during that period, the whole entire administration, more or less, we're looking at 1.97 billion during a very tumultuous time. Now we get to the past 5 years that are supposed to be the prosperity years because we keep talking about, all these more tourists coming and we're introducing this, domestic top-up tax. So we're going to get some big money from these corporations. And, we see the debt ballooning by $4 billion. We have done in 5 years what has taken decades to do. And this is a serious thing that our Minister of Finance, and more specifically the Prime Minister, needs to speak to. Why are we in this position? Why has our national debt ballooned to these proportions?
By so much?
It's a lot. When you think that the whole of our history, 10 billion, that's where it got us in 2021. And then just in a couple of years, they added 4 billion. But meanwhile, we still talking about surplus. Like how? This should make every Bahamian kind of sit up and pay attention because there's no way that I can see plainly or that we understood that all this amount of borrowing was happening and that our national debt had ballooned to these proportions. That is crazy.
How did it get so, though, and so fast? So, I mean, like, at no point did somebody say, hey, Chief, look here, Chief, this kind of lele, why, you see this?
I mean, did we hear anything? Were we briefed that, and it's amazing though, because you think you're kind of keeping an eye on the finances, but obviously we're lost somewhere. So I'm going to look at it deeper. I'm glad that we have that article that kind of breaks it down for us about the timeline and the monies involved. But my goodness, in just a few months, you had another billion, and that 700 million figure seems to be haunting us, right? So because we already know that we have a national investment fund that should have at least $700 million. We still have no confirmation that that's there. They increased the borrowing. They added 700 million in debt. Perhaps they'll come to us and say, yes, that was because we did the, excessive borrowing and we put the difference in the National Investment Fund. No one has come out and said that they should be, on top of this because these numbers look really bad. And if you really think about it, we're going to need an explanation as to why our national debt ballooned by so much so quickly. Again, no pandemic. Again, no major storms. We still have a lot of problems with our infrastructure. It's not like we're talking about, we refurbished the Grand Lucayan, so we put millions into that. We built the new airport ourselves in Grand Bahama, like a big one, the big one for this kind of money. And so that's what it is. We're $4 billion deeper in debt, and what do we have to show for it?
Nothing.
What is the concrete thing? What was the concrete investment in the country, or where did the money go? That's the question. Where the money gone? Because this is just, wow.
Let's go to the phone lines. Maybe the callers know. Talking Heads.
All right, Naughty and MJ?
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon. Hey, I got a question for y'all because I want to know where the money going to do. I've been the license two of my vehicles on last week, Friday. One of my vehicles is 195 and the next one is 645. The highest thing the license in this country is 795. I want you all to tell me the difference is. Where does money gain? Or who it gain to?
But how one go from 190 to 645? Is one like a truck or a heavy duty vehicle?
Is a Chevy Silverado.
Oof.
So they catching you for the weight and for the tonnage.
Wow.
No, I don't mind what they say they catch me for. My thing is 795 is the highest. 645. What's the difference?
Right.
Yeah.
You understand?
Right.
So my thing is, ask Mr. Prime Minister, the minister, and the controller of road traffic what's going on, because it ain't adding up.
Yeah, we need some answers.
It
Thank
ain't
you.
adding up.
Yeah.
And for him to say the buck stop with him, and he trying to help being people, you ain't helping us. You trying to kill us, and you creating criminals. Because if you ain't paying the 645, you're going to try something some other way.
Mm.
And if y'all don't believe it, it's the truth.
I know it's rough out there. Thank you, caller.
Good stuff,
Good
caller.
question,
Appreciate
though, because what about the roads? I mean, just $4 billion deeper in debt, and the roads look worse than they looked back in 2021.
Roads shabby is an understatement.
$4 billion deeper in debt, and BPL is operating worse than it was back in 2021. And I'm just putting the 2021 divider because that's when this administration came into this group of persons leading our country came to the forefront. And so I really need an explanation. Still no airport in Freeport. Eleuthero with power problems. You have Grand Key going 2 weeks, can't get a generator to them expeditiously, because that's what you need when you have, persons go in more than 2 days without electricity. It should be expeditiously, but that's not happening. So where did maybe our callers can tell us, maybe there are things happening, but we just don't see it, and maybe the government isn't talking about it enough. But we need to know, what did an additional $4 billion in national debt get us as the Bahamian people? Again, outside of the pandemic. Again, no major hurricanes. Again, the infrastructure, we're not seeing it there. We got the roads looking crazy. We got BPL with just problems after problems. Where did the $4 billion that was added to our national debt, where that money gone? What was it spent on? What was the investment?
Let me get back to the text lines real quick. Good afternoon, MJ and Naughty. It was refreshing to hear from Pintard when the buck and the bull try to give us wishful thinking. I would trade my ace of spades to that triangle gang and co, and let the buck stop there. Hello, I think we should also have the analysis expanded that adds a column that gives a breakdown on what the funds were borrowed for, and yet another column giving information if the funds were spent on what they were borrowed for. We've got a nothing burger to show for all of this.
Oh,
boy.
And like I said, that's why I like the context. Because if you think of it, it ain't hard to figure out something ain't right when you know that for the whole entirety from 73 to 2021, our debt went up to 10 billion, but in just a few short years, you add 4. We were at 10 and you add 4 in just a few years. And it took decades to get to 10. Crazy. Hey, let's go.
You smell that? That new show smell? That new show smell? Like new show smell?
So strictly speaking.
That ain't no new show smell. That's the air fryer you smell.
Strictly speaking, I do smell the air fryer.
All right, we'll get Pearlie's take on things in a second, but let's get to the phone line. We got Dennis on the line. We got a couple of callers, including Dennis and CNN, so we'll get to you. Let's go to the phone lines. Talking Heads.
Good day, Queen Lady Mary Jane.
Hey, Dennis.
Sonori and Senator Pearlie.
Hey.
That's Mr. Earl Thompson to you starting Monday.
Not until then.
There you go.
Not till then. Still Pearlie today.
But y'all finally playing catch up. I'm with this the Bermuda Gate administration, right? Because a couple of weeks ago when there was I'm making noise, but this little $20 million thing, and I tell you that's a distraction. You know, they're on vacation, they ain't got to answer nothing. But and didn't I say let's focus on the 700 million?
Yeah, we are focused. Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, you did say it, Dennis. You did tell us that.
That's how they want me some overtime. What time they doing now? They somewhere around the world having fun in the arts and the Bahamian people. You know, you see, because the boss with energy, right? What's her name? Lady Fashionista, Madam Rolex.
Minister Kobe Davis, yeah.
Lady Minister of Energy. She ain't got no energy to even answer y'all. But for my cousins, them in the Utah, and I will go in them. You all have to understand that what you have to do. I can tell you what my cousin tell me last week. You can get he order 32 460 kW bifacial. I could go up to 520 solar panels. 32 of them. $5,200. That's $160 something a panel. Okay. Think about it.
Gotcha. All right. I mean, it's amazing, right, Pearlie? Like, I can't wait to hear your take on this. $10 billion national debt all the way up to 2021, and then in the last couple of years, $4 billion added. What? What's your take?
It started to feel like me when I have $500 in my pocket, but 3 hours later it's gone, and I can't figure out where I put it, what I do with it, what I spend it on. But I mean, when Michael Pintard was saying or asking all these questions the last 4 years, we were ignoring him. We were saying we ain't feeling him, we ain't this. But now, what it is, the chickens come home to roost, and that's what it is.
Chickens come home to roost, yeah.
We're asking this question. We were worried about who had the best rallies, who had the best parties, and not listening to the issues. So it's not, right now, we got this for the next 4.5 years, 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, can you
The
imagine?
attitude is, we just win the election. Anybody making any noise to us, you're not bitter. You're not mad. You're not F&M. And it ain't about that, It's questions that were being asked over the last 4.5 years, 5 years, that never been answered. You know how rough it is to watch the third Wednesday in the month where there's opposition there and they're supposed to ask questions and the minister's not prepared to answer this, this. Come on.
Yeah. Or when they filibuster with irrelevant stuff and stretch out so they could run the time out. Like, that's disrespectful to Bahamians as well, I find. You know what I mean?
Let's get back
to jump up and join. So we getting what we did not vote for.
Let's get back to the phone lines. I think we got GNN on the line. Talking Heads.
Teachers, good afternoon, Teacher Pearlie, Teacher Naughty, and Teacher Mary J. I know the answer. I know where it gone.
Where it gone?
I know where it gone. Huh?
To the hospital. Where it gone?
It got, exactly. He ain't gone to the hospital because I was sleeping on brown paper the other day. But
man.
It gone from the 4 billion, 5 billion, correction, MJ, is 5 billion to 700, 1,002 plus. It gone into the consolidated fund, right? And then it mysteriously jumped over to NIF fund, okay? And then it vanished into somebody's bank account. I get clear on that.
You have a good one, GNN. But I mean, on a serious note, I mean, we need some answers because I'm really trying to understand where that money went. Like, where did we see the investment, that $4 billion?
What did we do with it?
Right.
Like, where to go? We got 52 on the line. Maybe 52 knows where it went to.
Okay,
52,
maybe
what's
52 knows.
Talking Heads.
Hello.
Hey, 52.
What's going on, 52?
Yeah, what's popping, Naughty, MJ, and the crew, Pearlie? What's going on?
What's
up, 52? Good.
Yeah, the guy that called and talked about the disparity with the licensings and stuff like that, I just wanted to make this a quick input, right? I listened to Lang and Pintard today. I don't know what the people have against Michael Pintard, right? But, for me personally, I don't know why, it's so pathetic when something happens, people will find a scapegoat. Well, really, my terminology is an escapegoat, right? But Mr. Pintard made so much sense. Obviously, Mr. Lang, right? You know, when I listen to what was said and what is actually true, that no board was formed when these funds were appropriated, misappropriated, whatever, disappropriated, right? You know, narratives like power to the people, I see why it's not repeated, because the people don't have no power, and apparently we don't want no power. But I'll say this, right? If I'm a machine or a vending machine or whatever, however you want to look at it, I'm trying to be a little humorous here. If the buck stops with me, right, that means all the money coming to me. You guys don't get it. Have a good day, man.
You know what? They've been humorous today. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Let me get to the text lines real quick. Naughty, MJ, and Pearly, this is what the majority voted for, and those that stayed at home just as bad. So tell them, brace themselves and suck it up. Plenty more hell to catch. Not sorry for them one bit. Sorry, and I'm not sorry. That's why the big rig brakes failed, carrying the big generator, which unfolded, causing everybody to look at around like, well, mother sick. Naughty, Naughty and MJ, I am wondering what all of this $4 billion probably came from the expenses for the 50th independence anniversary from a few years ago. There's not been a public accounting of the expenses for the 50th independence. I have the answer to MJ's question. They're mortgaging our future to secure their positions as our overlords. The king is coming, guys. More money on the ground. The king is coming. BPL better keep the power on with that.
I bet you it'll be on that day, right?
And I bet you wouldn't be no pothole around. Watch 2 weeks before he come. Not a pothole in sight.
Only on the roads that on the pre-approved
properly
routes.
fixing them, but just parking.
Yeah, just the pre-approved routes, I'm sure.
It's just gonna be come down to Airport Road.
Mm-hmm.
So the Blue Hill Road going to the government house would be cool. Wherever he's staying, so that'll probably be West Bay Street somewhere. The West Bay Street strip would be fine. So yeah, that's basically the route.
Just exactly where he's going to go and see. Yeah, that part will be fine. I mean, can we even afford it right now? I don't know.
You know what? That's the question I wanted to ask. Who's paying for this trip?
Okay, he'll get he'll come over with his plane, but all this other stuff, I'm pretty sure.
Who's paying for all that? Is Buckingham Palace assisting? Who's paying for it? What is the budget? I'm willing to bet close to 10 mil.
This is his government and his people. What do you mean? We paying for it?
I'm willing. We paying for it.
We are paying for it.
It's subject.
Of course, the subjects. Of course.
We should put a pool out there and put a pool out there and say, how much you think it can be? My money on 10 million.
At least, because the last time we had Wills and Kate here, they had all kind of big parties and stuff, and that looked really expensive. Maybe that's where some of the $4 billion went. Maybe.
Oh, I changed my bet then. 25 million.
Exactly. You better talk numbers.
All right, we got to get to the break. Call us, hang tight on the line. We'll come to you right after the break. Text us. I'll get your text on in a second. MJ, Purdy, let's get to the break real quick. Flip side of the break, we got callers coming straight out of the break. This is the Wednesday, August 26th edition of Talking Heads, which continues right after this.
Have you ever had the feeling that you was being had? Don't that shit that make you mad? They treat you like a slave, put chains all on your soul and put whips up on your back. They be lying through their teeth, hope you slip up off your path. I don't switch up.
Naughty Johnny's restaurant can only be described as the experience you want to recreate again and again and again. Their motto is simple food done well. You're welcome into their home at Naughty Johnny's, where you can dine on crack conch fritters, and other Bahamian favorites. There's also an international flair that's guaranteed to offer something for everyone. Enjoy a good meal and listen to a live band on their patio Friday and Saturday nights, or brunch on Saturday and Sunday. Only at Naughty Johnny's restaurant in the Old Town Plaza, Old Fort. They're open 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Friday, 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. on Saturday, and 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. on Sunday. Naughty Johnny's. Well worth the
Running low on summer funds? Squeeze every drop of fun out of your summer with Fidelity Personal Loan. From backyard upgrades to family getaways, Fidelity is here to help. Call 356-7764 today.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Going through tires faster than a hot knife through butter. One wheel going left, one wheel going right. While the car crying and trying to go down the road straight, Chief, you need to go into Muffler World and get your wheels aligned. Muffler World will set you on the straight and narrow in no time with computerized wheel alignment. And since the car is up already on the rack, take them one-tread tires off and get some new ones. Muffler World on Mackey Street got that computerized wheel alignment and brand new tires.
Summer's here, and KFC's got summer buckets just for you. Every bucket starts with 8 legs and thigh pieces of your favorite chicken, plus 4 golden biscuits. Grab the value bucket for just $20 or go big with our mega bucket, packed with everything you need for summer fun on the beach, boat, or on the road. Need more? Add 4 Pepsis, Fountain Fries, or the new mango dessert biscuit for only $5. KFC's summer buckets have big flavor, big value, and finger-licking good chicken only at KFC Nassau.
If you need anything in regards to painting, Bahamian Paint has everything that will satisfy all your painting needs. Sandpaper, rags, paintbrushes, tapes, tarps, spackling paste, putty knives, disposable spray guns, caulking, expandable foam, hydraulic cement, paint thinner, and solvents. And that's not it. The list goes on. Industrial coatings for any industry. Remember, Bahamian Paint has all you can dream of when it comes to your painting needs. Bahamian Paint on Harold Road and Mackey Street. Call today, 326-3425.
You're listening to Talking Heads with Naughty and Mary Jane. Only on Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM.
Two in the air for the brother that's there. Three in
We're
the air
back
for the
at you on
kids
the
together.
Wednesday, August 26th edition of Talking Heads. Naughty, MJ, Pearlie, and your company right up until 6 p.m. Let's get to the phone lines. Caller's been holding. I appreciate your patience. Talking Heads.
Hey, good afternoon, Naughty, MJ, and Pearlie.
Hey, what's going on?
Quick input. Listen, I think that the opposition leader them need to be stronger. I think because we're accustomed to strong opposition who can hold the government accountable, and somehow I see them bringing up some valid points, but somehow it's not resonating with the populace. And I think they need to. It almost has to be like expose. There has to be something that can latch on and for example, guys who went in previously with so much money and then they were multimillionaires.
Right.
And the thing this needs to, those are hard questions in the opposition. And I say the opposition because they have members in the House. They should be able to hold. So we need persons like the Hubert Ingrams or even the Bradley Roberts, when they were in opposition. Like, Menace does a good job in opposition, but he's a poor prime minister. He was a poor prime minister. And so we just need strong persons because the government is not listening. The governing party is not listening.
But caller, let me ask you a question. All right? Because it sounds like you've been watching a lot of elections over the course of time. And I seen my share. Maybe that's our problem. Maybe we're falling for the WWE smoke and mirrors, pomp and circumstance, talk the best smack, talk the most you-know-what, foolishness on the campaign trail. But how many have delivered post-campaign trail?
Right, so we
all
know
of those
that
boisterous
most of
characters that we resonated to because of pomp and circumstance and character and personality have left us wanting in the long run. And that goes for every administration, from Mr. Pinlan to Mr. Ingram to Mr. Christie to Dr. Minnis to Mr. Davis. Each and every one has done it.
Right, so the challenge I find is that, listen, they've divided us, right? And then, the PLP has mastered it this last time around, where they gave persons so many jobs that people forgot their problems. And so I think what that did is that weakened the FNM, because I thought the FNM had a better slate of persons, at least had a better chance of at least getting more votes. But until the FNM, when they get in power, they have to, for instance, for this, the guy just called about $600 for an SUV. That's ridiculous for you. If the FNM can say, listen, we're going to reduce this. The electricity charges, we're going to do this and undo all of the PLP have done. When people are pulled over and they don't have insurance, instead of people like single mothers losing their cars, so there's no means for them to do it because they didn't have an insurance. Maybe they're hustling. When their cars get taken, record drivers waiting if we don't stop, if the opposition can't say, no, we're going to undo this for the Bahamian people, and they could cite a lot of things that the PLP has done, I think they can start there. And I would wish that they could say, we're going to undo a lot, this, that, the next thing, whatever the PLP has done, you give us a chance, we're going to undo it. And I believe the PLP will start to make noise and start to revisit some of the things they've done. And I appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I won't comment. I won't comment. I heard the caller. Nothing the caller has said has not been done by the opposition. When Ingram and those and others and Sir Kendall and Sir Cecil and all those were protesters back in the 80s and 90s, people gave a damn about their country. People cared. People don't care anymore. We just now, 3 weeks after it was brought up about this $700 million moving to the National Investment Fund, we're just now starting to say, hey, what's going on here? When this was something that Pintard brought up 3 weeks ago, that others spoke about weeks ago. But we're only worrying about how much gas I get in my car. Do I have enough money to go to the club tonight? Can I do this? Can I get my hair fixed? Can I get my nails done? We don't care. And until we get back to the family structure in our country, till we get back to caring for our neighbors, caring what's happening in our country, all this piece doesn't make noise about. The opposition and say they'll stop this, they'll stop that. They would bring this in for the hedge fund for BPL. They would review this. They'll have a forensic audit on these things to see where the money went and how to do it. Nobody listened. We were more interested in who at the rally, how much I could get to drink at the rally, how much food they got, how much grill out going on, where the grill out going on, why I want this nice shirt, where I get this T-shirt. We ain't check for the issues.
Yeah,
I dare Bahamians to come and say, yes, we check for the issues. Tell me what the issues were that we talked about.
I think some of the people that participated actually cared, but to your point, Pearlie, the vast majority of Bahamians just seem to be tuned out, spaced out, and not interested in re-engaging with their civic responsibilities, and that is a crying shame. That's
the fact
sad.
that you stayed home. The fact that you stayed home. I'm
sad.
not mad at who voted PLP or who voted FNM, who voted CR. That's their right. They voted.
Right.
I'm mad at this and who stayed home and give me the bull crap, but ain't nothing could change.
The disengaged.
This don't make no sense.
And then one bellyache after the fact.
And then you want bellyache or be mad when you hit your car on a pothole or the light ain't working and you gonna be in moan and carry on bad. You had an opportunity to change things to see if one of the other two guys could do something different. You don't know if Pintard was gonna be a good prime minister or Lincoln Bain was gonna be a good prime minister because you didn't give them a chance. You know what you had. You know what you had in the PLP and Brave Davis. While I love Mr. Davis, he's an affable person. He's somebody that many people love.
Right.
But you don't know. You don't know. You know what you got. You know what you saw. You know the corruption. You know the scandals, the different things you heard. You know a man went down on the plane election day and he charged with all kinds of drug trafficking. You know senior police officers were carried away. You know senior defense force officers and locked up. You know you heard about these things, and yet we anyway. It is what it is.
I get it. I get it.
Talking heads.
It is what it is.
Talking heads. Hey, caller. Did we lose that caller?
Yeah, I guess we got to get that caller back. Let me hit the text lines real quick. And here we go. Buckle up this, y'all.
Okay.
Is there somewhere that I can report the government for aggravated assault, grand theft, and most of all, misery?
What?
Pearlie, Venice the Muppet Show.
Man, y'all got jokes.
Starring Little Kim.
Oh, boy.
Y'all got jokes. Oh, goodness.
Good afternoon, Naughty, MJ, and Pearlie. The Bahamian people are suffering, and it is a crying shame to see the state our country is in today. Almost every sector is facing serious challenges, and ordinary Bahamians are feeling the pressure. The PLP government must be held accountable for how many taxpayers' money is being spent. The people deserve to know where the money is going, how it is being spent, and what results they are getting in return. You cannot continue spending millions of dollars of the people's money while Bahamians struggle with the rising cost of living, unreliable electricity, healthcare concerns, poor roads, and other issues that directly affect their daily lives. Accountability can not only come after the problem occurs. Accountability means taking responsibility, being transparent, answering the people's questions, and fixing problems before they become crisis. The Bahamian people deserve better. The country belongs to all of us, and those entrusted with leadership must remember that they are accountable to the people, not the other way around.
Yeah.
Naughty
That's well
MJ
done.
Purdy, you didn't see last election. Didn't you see what government spent on election campaign?
You know what?
You had the Public Accounts Committee meet last week in reference to the vouchers, the 200 million in vouchers. That was it 200 million or 200,000?
It was 200,000, but a couple of tranches. It ended up being
But it
around
was plenty.
600,000,
So,
I
anyway,
think.
so all these
Yeah.
vouchers were done out. They had meetings. You had one person coming there from who was responsible for making sure the vouchers get out. He can't talk about it at this time. You had people coming there not giving an account for where that money came from.
We joking, man. We joking. We joking. You know what I
The Public
mean?
Accounts Committee needs to be given more power to lock people up. If you refuse to what it is and to subpoena you, if you refuse to come in.
Well, the
And then
House
you should
has
be
subpoena
made to
power,
it,
but
you spend a couple of days in jail if you don't do it, and after you can spend a couple of days up the road. You talk.
Let's get back to the text lines. You know what they have against Mr. Michael Pintard? They are blinded by broken promises and don't want to hear sense when it counts. Life and death, all we are fret. Vote for your guest.
Somebody posted on
Texas.
Facebook yesterday, can I protest my vote?
Oh, I think I saw that too. I
And
was
somebody
like,
tell them,
what?
sit down and sit, you done vote, sit down and sit up straight.
Oh man,
Charles-
I mean, it's too much.
Child, if the king ain't coming on his own dime, pass. Call us on Zoom or pre-record an address. I can't.
I'm sure the plane will be his. You know, he has special planes for national security, but all the rest of the stuff, yeah, likely that is. Did we find out how much we spent on Wills and Kate when they came here? Because I'm sure that was a pretty penny too. No account. We probably paid for that with borrowed money. That's crazy.
We don't know we'll be on the 50th independence celebrations, yet you talking about Will and Kate.
Exactly.
Good.
But we could see that these things have real consequences. If that $4 billion in 5 short years, when we had only managed to rack it up to 10 billion over decades, didn't make your belly break down, then trust me, it's coming, because stuff like that has like real consequences. You see the one tax and the bin, and I've been researching it all day. I'm gonna talk more about it on Friday's show, because we're gathering a lot of information, you know, what we have so far to talk to you guys about it. But these things there is no free lunch. $4 billion in 5 years, and y'all don't think we're gonna have to pay that back? Y'all don't think you're gonna have to feel yourself stretched to your absolute limits, because somebody has to pay that money back? And a lot of it is gonna fall on us. You cannot be nonchalant about these things. And yes, I know these aren't the sexy topics that everybody, you know, wants to do. They're saying who's scheming with who, and they're saying who do X, Y. These are the serious things that makes a difference in your comfort, for your future and your children's future. So I'm sorry, I get it. You know what I mean? You got to communicate in a way that people can listen to you, sit up and pay attention. You got to meet people where they're at. But also, I got to put it on some Bahamians too, because honestly, as much as I've been defending Bahamians, some things I've been hearing, some of y'all are some real conks for true. Some real king conks and some real queen conks.
Let's get to the phone lines. Talking heads.
Hello, Naughty and MJ. Oh,
hey.
May I say this thing? I know what happened to the money.
Where
They're
it gone?
stealing it.
They doing what?
They taking all the money from us.
And where is it going? What
Into
are we
their
investing? Oh, Lord. Okay. Thank you, caller.
Talking heads.
And for Behemoths, and that sounds like a young person. For Behemoths to ask that question, we should be concerned.
It's a
For
problem.
real.
Where's the Minister of Finance?
MIA. Let's go to the phone lines. Talking heads.
Yeah, Naughty and MJ, I had to call back and piggyback on what the caller said about the F&M, if they was to get in power, to dial back some of these high prices that they putting on us with the car licensing.
Yeah. That high.
Michael Pindar and Andre Rollins, they need to turn up the heat on these people. Tell the Prime Minister, tell him get it right.
Yeah.
Please.
Thank you, caller.
I think you got two individuals there in Pintard and Rollins who will turn up the heat, though they always make contributions in the house. Quick, let me get these texts in because we're getting close to time. Good afternoon, Pearly, MJ, and Naughty. Something where you watched the live stream today with Lang and Mr. Pintard, and I wanted to see his office of community center because I couldn't get the live stream on the Guardian. All right, we'll let the producer
That
know
was
about
on
that.
that. No, no, that was. But that was just look up Michael C. Pintard on Facebook. He broadcast live today, and you can see. I'm sure it's available right now. Just go on his Facebook page, and you can see the live stream with his interview with our very own colleague, Mr. Zhivago Lang. So just look at Michael C. Pintard on Facebook and follow that there.
What the opposition failed to do is show the strength of Pintard. That show today was eye-opening. That is a real leader.
Thanks, Pearly. Go ahead. Sorry, Naughty. Go ahead.
Can I go?
Yeah, go.
Yeah, man. Sorry about that.
My bad. What the opposition had failed to do was show the strength of Pintard. That show today was eye-opening. That is a real leader, far, far above the rest.
Or is it that we're just now paying attention? Because sometimes you don't pay attention till things, till the what hits the fan. I think some people just paying attention now because they realize not only what's happening, but what's coming down the pike. I don't know.
I'm concerned.
Hello, good evening. Nice topic. Don't forget, many Bahamians don't see the need in voting because they don't see anyone who can get behind and throw their support. A lot of people don't need government for anything, so think about that. The question is, what are the national tourist plans to maximize this royal visit?
We're gonna have good coverage from the BBC.
Yeah.
And ZNS and maybe CNN or they're gonna cover because the king is stopping to the Bahamas. We're gonna get some.
Yeah, you should get some tourists
coverage
for sure. And then it's the end of October, so I guess we should be starting now so people can book. It's between the end of October and early November. So yeah, great point, Texter. They need to get on that now if they want to bring some extra people over.
But I'm sure the planning committee is meeting now because I was involved with Prince Harry's visit.
Oh, that was
and we met for months and months and the team did a really good job of planning it and all that stuff.
All that dancing and that was a really good.
It was fun. It was fun. It was fun to do it. I got an opportunity to meet him
that's so cool.
Actually to take his hand. I got to that was kind of cool.
I wish it's him coming now.
It's a lot of work to do because they have the plan from the minute he touches down to the minute he takes off. It's not just that his security, the Royal Bahamas Police Force, Defense Force is all involved in that. The security that he has to have, the areas got to be swept. Prince Harry, they brought the car in. I don't know if they'll bring the car in, but the car got to come in. If it's coming, got to come in at a particular time. The police got to receive it. They got to scan it. Even the plan and everything. Planning from he leaves at 4:00. At 4:05, he's turning on Zion. I call it Zion on Zion Corner, but he turning on the East Street. Everything is planned out.
Meticulous, and that was Prince Harry. Yeah,
that was Prince Harry. So I know for the king.
Correct, right? The actual head of state.
Let me get these two texts in before we got to wrap because I'm getting a hard break from Mr. Producer. We got to get to the news. Mr. Davis is the MP for Cat Island and Prime Minister of the PLP and party in general. In this country, we don't vote for a prime minister. Coverage is not the issue. It's about planning for the small Bahamians to maximize the return, not just planning for the royals.
Yeah.
All right. 5:58 p.m. is the time. I think we've reached that time. So, MJ, Pearly, got anything to say before we get out of here?
See you tomorrow, guys.
Nope. Tune in tomorrow.
See you tomorrow as I would make my
Pearly
last broadcast is Talking Heads.
Talking Heads. Well,
I may cry, so you'll see.
Well, yeah, we'll see.
All
right, man. For MJ, for Pearly, and for everybody who chimed in, called in, text in, man. Good stuff as always. And Mr. Producer, we'll see you tomorrow right here on Talking Heads.
Ciao.
Trying to hold him back. 5 in the air for the teacher, not scared to tell those kids that's living in the ghetto that the holding back that the world is theirs. Yeah, the world is yours. I was once that little boy, terrified of the world. Now I'm on the world.
Refined style with elegant taste, then fine threads is your place. If you want those slacks hemmed or just taking the waist, then fine threads is your place. If you wanna look suave and debonair everywhere you go, like you're supposed to be in a video, wanna step out and look great, then fine threads is your place. Refined style with elegant taste. Then Fine Threads is your place. Is your place. Is your place.
Getting ready to go back to school? Come on into John, where we will have you looking smart on your feet with the wide selection of brands you can trust for boys and girls. Hush Puppies, Skechers, Camper, Timberland, Class Action, Hey Dude, and more. Get a bag for those books or a new lunchbox from a wide selection of Sprayground and Toto backpacks. Socks and belts are available in colors and sizes as well. All this and more with the best prices and customer service in town at John's on Rosetta Street, Carmichael Road, and now the Venetian Village Shops at Old Fort Bay. John's. We put fashion at your feet.
Dive in hot with the new